Welcome to my channel. I'm your host, Tony Coleman, and today I'm going to show you another helpful utility that's built into Windows that a lot of people take for granted. The utility I'm going to be showing you is the Snipping Tool. You can find the Snipping Tool in your Start menu, typically by scrolling all the way down to your Windows Accessories and Snipping Tool. You can also find it if you do a search. Just type in Snip or Snipping Tool, and it should show up. When you open it, sometimes it goes to this part. Sometimes by default, it will have the whole screen ready to be snipping, as if you click the new. I think that's an option. We'll get that here in a moment. This tool is really handy, and it's used for basically just clipping or snipping certain parts of the screen that you want to take a picture of and share with somebody, or maybe you want to edit a picture of, or what have you. It's really easy to use, really handy, and you can also do some edits after you've done the snipping. And I will show you a few things on how to use it. First, you just want to click on New, and the whole screen should go to grayed out, but you'll still see the tool here. You can still move this around as needed to get it out of your way. But the whole point is you pick out where on the screen you want to snip, and you basically make a box out of it. So say I wanted to get all these icons here. I can highlight them, and I can see it. Now, if that's all I wanted to do, I could just either hit copy and then paste it somewhere, or I could hit save, which would give me the option to save it as a picture file. I don't need to save it as a picture file yet because I want to show you a few other things. First, under mode, you can do other ways instead of squaring it out like I did. You can do like freeform snip, where you basically draw around what you want, and they have the window snip. But first, I want to show you the other editing tools. They have the delay snip creation. So basically, if you were trying to catch something that was in a live stream and you knew it was coming up, you could delay it a little bit. You can send it straight to like your email as an attachment, or in the body of the email. Here is a pen where you can draw on the picture. I'll show you here. As you can see, it's just kind of blue. You can choose that between red and black. You can customize the pen if you want it like thicker and bolder, which is under customize. So here I could change the color to any of these options. Like if I wanted red to make it highlight more, if I want to change it to like a fine point or a thick point. You can do the chisel, or you can do the round tip, depending on what your preference is. Hit OK, and here you can see it works. This is the highlighter. If you had text, you could just highlight the spot you wanted, or you could do it on other things, but of course, obviously, it's almost like you're using a regular highlighter on blue, so it's going to be kind of a greenish color, but it does work pretty well. I use it quite a bit if I'm trying to show somebody where certain verbiage is on a website, maybe under a terms and conditions page. I can just highlight the text and send them the snipping. Now, you do have an eraser in case, say, you didn't want that on there, you made the mistake, or the handwriting that you were using was illegible. I could come back and be like, text. And since my X looked really big there, I could be like, oh, I want that to look a little bit better. Do that, switch back to the pen, and make it look more neat, I guess you could say. And then the last option here is edit with Paint 3D. Paint 3D is another utility that's in Windows, and it will basically automatically put that in the Paint 3D program for you to edit with. So if you wanted to save this output, I could. It usually defaults to a .png file. I believe you can change that under your preferences. Let's see, where is it? Well, either way, you can change it. It may be after you've saved it once or something, but you can change it. Um, but say you didn't want to do the square, we'll just do a new one, but we're going to change the mode to freeform mode, and I will show you how this is working. See, I have now scissors on here. I can basically choose just certain parts of it. And now it only has that. Instead of being squared off, it just has the part that I've done. The other option is window snip. And here it's just basically waiting for me to click somewhere, and that did the entire screen. It's almost just like doing a print screen, only it allows you to edit the print screen without having to open up another program like Paint or 3D Paint. So 3 very, very helpful snipping options within it. It's definitely a valuable tool if you do any how-tos, any instructionals, if you do troubleshooting, especially if you're having problems with an app and someone says, well, send me a screenshot, or they'll say, can you text me the error code or whatever it is. This makes it really easy because you can just basically snip that little section out. And if you wanted, you could, I'll show you, you can actually just paste it straight into, say, a Word document or even a chat. So say I wanted to send somebody a list of some games I have on there, I can just copy and then I can just paste it right in here as if I was doing instructional. I can be like, here are some game options. And then I could send that to somebody saying, here's an example of games on Windows, and make an instructional with it or whatever. Granted, that'd be a really dumb instructional, but you can. And if I was in a chat program, such as like Discord or Facebook Messenger or Slack, I could just right-click in the text box, paste, and it will actually attach a picture of that screenshot into that automatically, so you don't actually have to save the file to your hard drive and then attach it. You can just paste it directly into the chat box, and it will do the same thing as if you were attaching it as just a normal file. So a very handy utility. It's very lightweight. I typically pin it to my taskbar because I end up doing a lot of screenshots for people. I do a lot of instructionals. I do a lot of how-tos. And so this saves me a lot of time, because if somebody asks me, where something is on the screen, like say somebody wanted to know how I need to change a setting in Word, I could do something like this and be like, hey, this is the option, and right there you go. And I could just copy that and paste it into either the chat message or into an email or whatever, and they can see that and they'd be like, oh, I was overlooking that button. There it is. Thanks. I don't know how many times I've told people, look in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and there should be an X to click to get out. And they still have no idea what I'm looking at. And I'm like, right here, silly. And then they're like, oh, duh, I was looking under, like, file or menu or view or whatever. And it's like, no, I said the top right-hand corner of your screen. Some people don't understand when you say, look down by your clock. So I'll be like, it's down here. Or I may say it's over here. Or how about you click this button to expand what other programs are running in your taskbar down there. And it really makes a big difference when they realize exactly where you're pointing. And yes, sometimes you have to point out the obvious to them because everyone's human. We all make mistakes. And there's been many times that I've overlooked, because when you've got 16 different ways to do the same process, you're not always thinking the same way as everyone else. So if you have any other tools that you'd like me to review, or you have questions about, or maybe you think there's a better way, maybe a different utility. Sometimes Windows even has 2 or 3 options to do the same thing. Feel free to drop those in my comments section down below. I'd be happy to check into them or to chat about them. And make sure you share my video to anybody you think might find these helpful, and hit that bell button so that you get notifications every time I drop new content like this. And then, like always, hit subscribe. So that's all I got today. Till next time, have a good one.